Okay, so the last bit remaining to do on this sill is finish it off the front here, just to obviously fill the gap, but also close off the end of it and underneath as well. But before I do that, I want to get the wing on and sort of pretty much fit it properly as it would be, so that I can see that the wing kind of ends up with a nice gap, and I don't want to muck that up. So until I've got the wing on, I can't finish that. And with this wing, there's a little bit more work to do. So let me show you. The other wing wasn't too bad. This one has gone in unusual places. So bottom of the wing's perforated several places. So I'm going to really cut it off, get above the rust. Got some shonky repairs to this lip which need redoing, and the main issue here is this sort of paper doily lattice at the front here, all around there. Got the same problem here that was on the other side, so a bit of rot has gone in through there and obviously been hammered in and filled, which I have to a lesser extent on this one here. So need to make that look a bit prettier. It's going to need some filling. I don't think I can get that looking perfect, but not neither here nor there. Then got a couple of little holes here and here. Probably just be able to fill those in, and yeah, so savable, but needs a bit more work than the other one. So that's what I'm going to do before I fit it. So I've got this from Wadham's. It's a repair panel. Might as well fit the whole thing, I think, and just cut off there, use the joggled edge. But let's have a look and see. Try and do it without creating too much unnecessary work. It means I've got to disconnect this, got to pull this off there, which is going to be interesting. Anyway, let's have a look and see what we have to do. Okay, so what I decided to do in the end was I chopped the top of the repair panel off, because it would have come up to about here, and opted to go for a straight butt weld rather than a lat weld using the tongue. I actually find it easier to get a decent sort of line up, and you know, I can weld from both sides, so I can make it strong. At the moment I've just got it spotted in. I've made sure I've got no, so it's all nice and smooth across there. There's no kind of upstand, as it were, and that's kind of in the right sort of shape, so it follows the curve of the arch round. So yeah, pretty happy with that. This looks like it pretty much lines up. I might need to just, it stands a bit proud here, so I might actually need to dress that in a bit as I'm folding it over to grip the rest of this channel, which I'm then going to make up separately, or repair the piece that I've got off there already, to then add that in. So yeah, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this very slowly, just spot, keep it cool, and try and avoid any shrinkage and valleys of death that have to be filled up with filler. So yeah, just take it slowly and gradually bring it together. Right, so I've run the weld all the way along, sort of, you know, gradually just spotting and filling in the gaps. So I'm interested to see how it looks from the other side, so I'm going to flip it over. You guys can just sit there a minute. See that I've got a massive, great big valley to deal with. Okay, I'm actually quite impressed with that. It has worked, not, you know, overdoing it on the welding front. You can see the penetration there, that's fine. And the main thing is that I haven't got any sign of a sort of really significant valley of any kind. Let's get a ruler. So as you can see, it follows the curve there. I mean, I haven't dressed the welds yet, but it follows the curve. There's no sort of deep valley in there at all. So that's great. Cool, happy with that. So now I just need to maybe do a few more welds from this side, just to sort of fill in any gaps and dress it, and then yeah, and then focus on the the bit in there, and then I've got to deal with that, and finally got to get my head around dealing with that, and a bit there as well. Yes. Having just dressed the welds, that's all looking good. I mean, the beauty of welding it from behind is you can leave the welds a little proud, because obviously if you're butt welding you haven't got the overlap. So, you know, I mean, it's still, you know, you don't really feel them, but you can leave a bit of weld there to support the weld strength. And obviously once this is all coated, it'll never be seen again, so hopefully. On the other side, let's put you back here again. I'm really happy with this. You know, taking the time has really made a difference. You can just feel the very faintest of sort of, you know, not even like a valley, just a slight sort of ridge there. I might, if I maybe got a hammer and dolly on it, I might even be able to get rid of that. But anyway, so I mean, either way, it's bloody good. Happy with that. Just a little one here. So I've this would have various bits of rot on the lip here, so I just cut along just beyond the curve of the bend there, so just on the inside of that here, and just had enough good metal to be able to weld this strip onto, which I'm now going to grind back. But I'm actually quite happy that's turned out pretty strong and nice, and saves having to get too carried away. And obviously I've maintained the sort of the profile of the outer wing there, so good job that, happy with that. And then once that's done, we move on to the front. Okay, so so that's this piece done. I've replaced that lip there, that's all done, nice and smooth. There's a little bit of a divot there, but I think that was there in the panel before and I missed it, so I kind of welded it in now, but anyway, it's only minor. So the next thing is I have cut out roughly the rusty offending area and gone beyond it a bit to make sure I'm out of the rust zone. So now I've done that, I'm going to go and get my spare wing, and yeah, hopefully that'll have a nicer, more solid piece here, and I can cut that out and somehow get it to fit. This is another old fender I got hold of, thanks Paul. Similar problems but in different places, so I've chosen to keep the original fender, which fits the car better than this one, and use this one to donate some metal. So this is what I took off the other thing, the other fender, cut it out. You can kind of use the profile to gauge roughly where it goes, and it goes there. So I'm going to draw a hole around the outside of it and cut that out. Okay, so I don't really know if this is going to work, but I'm going to give it a go. I've only got one chance, only got one wing. So what I'm doing here is I'm sort of just gently massaging this until all the gaps close up and it's in what I assume is going to be the nearest position to being right. And then I'm going to draw a line around it, and then I'm going to cut it out very carefully, and then see if that will then just fit in there and won't need too much remedial work afterwards. It's yeah, it's a new one on me, this. I've not tried this before, but hopefully it'll work. So I'm held in by magnets at the moment, pretty close. Probably just needs a little bit more trimming off in a couple of places just to let it sit flush. It's just being pushed under. You can sort of pop it out, but then something else pops out, so I just need to get it a little bit, probably a slightly looser fit, so it's just going to sit in there, and then I can adjust as I go around with the welder. I'm going to obviously have to be quite careful not to put too much heat into it, so I'll be just sort of spotting it in place and then making sure that everything's lined up gradually. Building up the welds. So yeah, I think that's going to work. So I'm fairly well through the welding now. I've still got a few to do, and what I'm doing is where it's a tight fit, I'm turning the welder up so it kind of burns through a bit, and when it's a looser fit, I don't want to then start burning into one side or the other and creating holes. So I just turn the welder down to about, well, probably about less than a quarter, and then just sort of use that to sort of help fill the larger gaps. But so far so good. It's pretty good. I think slightly lower on the replacement piece, just there. It's down about 0.5 mil, maybe 1 mil. But actually, you know, if it's going to do anything, I'd rather it be lower, because that's going to be easier then just to fill that. But it's only going to need a skim. So obviously I'll only really see what it looks like once I've ground it all back and dressed the welds. So yeah, a few more welds to do, but I'm just giving it plenty of time in between each set of spots to completely cool down to the touch, and then giving it another going round. So I'd say maybe 1 or 2 more go rounds and I'll be done. Okay, so that's done. As suspected, it's just a bit lower here, so that's why you can still see, because if I'd gone straight across and tried to clean the welds up, I would have gone through the upper metal here on the original wing. So I've just got that smoothed off, and then it's going to just need a little bit of filler to finish that off. But we're only talking maybe, you know, like a hair there. It's actually really nicely kind of joined all the way around the rest of the way, and I'm pleasantly surprised, I think is probably the best way of putting it, that that's turned out as well as it has. I was expecting it to warp and be a real problem, but taking my time again. Yeah, this car, if nothing else, this car's taught me a lot about welding. So that's done. Next is just the top of this. So again, just probably just cut a piece out of the old wing, just go whoosh, 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 and then just put that in round the curves on the edges. Probably get some brass blocks behind here and just fill these holes. I can probably do that quite easily. Likewise, the ones further down the wing, just 2 or 3 little pock marks there, and then that's pretty much done, I think. Yeah, that's pretty much done. So I can then fit the wing onto the car and see how it lines up with the other sill. But yeah, I mean, that's been what? I mean, I'm going to spend another hour or 2 on it, but I reckon best part of a day sorting all those little problems out, starting at sort of, you know, probably about 6 hours work, I would say. Anyway, there you go. That's what it's all about. Yeah, very happy. Right, so that's me done. So I did follow the same process that I did for the front here. Again, not too bad. Slightly going to need a bit of filling just to square it off, but it's obviously strong and not just a bodge in terms of filling a hole with filler. Did these little patches here, they're all quite low, so I'm not going to try and deal with those now. Again, they're all solid now and they can be filled. So that is it. All I've got to do once I've got them wing mounted up is weld on the bracket on the bottom that bolts the bottom of the A-post. But yeah, a long and fiddly job, but glad I got it over and done with, and quite happy with the results.